Okay, everyone's all here. We're going to get this meeting started for the Montgomery Township Board of Supervisors, June 10th, 2024 meeting, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming out. Is there any public comment tonight? Persons wishing to make public comment on any items not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Please come up and state your name and address.
Andrew Pushart, 127 August Lane.
What was that again?
127 August Lane.
Okay.
Try to cut this down. I timed myself, so if I do have the 5 minutes, I'll try to keep it shorter than that. In my neighborhood, there's a family with an electronic dog fence where dogs charge people walking on the sideway as their boundary is approximately 2 feet from the public walkway. Recently, one of the dogs got off property, attacked another animal, but no law enforcement was involved because the loose dog was injured by a bigger animal, and the owner of that dog didn't want negative attention. The injured animal was put down by its owner. This made me wonder what the township policies are, and there aren't any. PA law section 459305 states an owner has to have their dog confined within the premises, firmly secured by means of collar or chain or other device so it can't stray or under reasonable control. I'd say, and you'll see why, I think an electronic dog fence doesn't meet that criteria. I found that there's ambiguity in the definition of what reasonable control is. For example, Montgomery County feels in county parks, pets must be on a leash no longer than 6 feet in length and under owner's control, while Montgomery Township states that all dogs must be under control at all times. No definition of what that actually means. What may be reasonable to one person is not reasonable to another. Case in point, the 4-1 vote by the board against the park leash law. Many local governments are beginning to clamp down on what control of the pet actually means. North Wales, Ambler, and Elwood City are just some examples of localities that have started to restrict laws further. When I talked to the zoning official here at the township, they said that they do not regulate electronic dog fences. As long as it's the dog's on your property, it's legal. This brings up my second question to you, what the property line is. I was told property line extends to the curb. So with this in mind, township doesn't regulate fences. Your property line extends to the curb. Person could have an electronic dog fence that extends to over the curb and onto public walkways. Well, you'd say to yourself, no reasonable person would do that, but the board has demonstrated in the past you can't agree upon what the definition of reasonable is. May 1st, I emailed the Board of Supervisors requesting a modification, Chapter 88, the Township Ordinance Concerning Dogs and Animals, and a request to look into this issue. I received a reply. If the Board of Supervisors wishes to consider this, they would direct staff to look into it further. Since I haven't seen this subject on agendas for the last 3 board meetings, I've taken that as the board does not wish to consider this proposal for addressing electronic fences. I would hope the following is taken into account. The board reconsiders this before someone, especially a child, is put at risk due to not addressing the use of fencing. First and most importantly, when you research veterinary websites, most recommend against electronic dog fences. Dr. Jen Summerfield says the fence is not a physical barrier from preventing an animal getting out. Triggered responses such as stimuli, such as territorial and predatory aggression, can overwhelm the animal's pain response to electronic fence. Due to the dog getting a shock to prevent it from crossing a boundary, anytime a dog feels pain or is hurt, there's a risk of fallout behavior developing. What happens is a dog starts to generalize the pain to what they see and hear around them. Then you end up with dogs who become reactive and aggressive towards children going past on bikes or people walking by. So the very fence that is supposed to keep a dog in could be providing pain stimulus to trigger an attack. For this reason, cities in Kansas and Council Bluffs, Iowa, even though they aren't in Pennsylvania, state that fences cannot be used in front yards and they have to be 10 feet for public walkways or neighborhood property lines. The Council Bluffs, Iowa similarly has something like that. Additionally, every electronic dog fence company says that their products are not 100% effective. Wire breaks, weak batteries, improper settings, not putting collar on, improper training or maintenance, or natural instincts can render the fence useless. This is actually a selling point for Dog Watch's battery subscription. When the battery runs out, guess who else does? Statistically, electronic dog fences are only about 70% effective. Wireless dog fences or GPS fences are also becoming more popular. Spot-on GPS fencing say at best they meet specifications 96% of the time. They are accurate to only 3 feet under open sky and 10 feet under trees, which means with a electronic fence 2 feet off the walkway, a 3 feet probability of error could have a dog a foot over the sidewalk. So again, when I spoke to the zoning office, they said other areas may have tighter laws due to population density. I would think safety and not population size should be the criteria, but if we want to use that as a metric, population of Montgomery Township is only growing. I'll leave you with this thought. If the board says a township doesn't regulate electronic dog fences, I would say you actually do. Section 230-148G3 says that electric fences and walls shall be prohibited for all uses with the exception of industrial or agricultural uses. Since you don't find either electric fence or electronic dog fence in your ordinance, I'll give you the definitions. Electric fence is a barrier that uses electric shocks to deter people and or animals from crossing a boundary. An electronic dog fence is a system that delivers electric shock to keep the animal in a designated boundary. Sounds like the same thing to me. Now, you might say a reasonable person would know what type of electric fence your ordinance is referring to, but as neither the township nor the state has defined what reasonable is, an electric fence is an electric fence no matter what type it is, and it's currently written prohibited for use in residential areas in the township. So I know it went maybe a little long, but I'm here. I'll be here if you want to discuss it further. I've done a lot of research, and I just think it needs to be addressed, and it'd be at no cost to the township to implement something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback.
Any other public comment? All right, announcement of executive session.
The Board of Supervisors met in executive session earlier this evening at 6:30 p.m. to discuss 1 litigation matter and 3 personnel matters. Topics discussed are legitimate subjects of an executive session under the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Sunshine Law.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Hello, I wanted to just make an announcement today because June is Pride Month. And I think this year more than ever, it's important that we show our support to all of our residents and visitors here in Montgomery Township. I want to know everyone to know that we accept and welcome everyone exactly as they are without exception, and that everyone can celebrate a happy Pride.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Next thing is item number 5, the consent agenda. I'm going to move to approve the consent agenda as presented for the following minutes of the May 28th, 2024 board meeting. Payment of bills for June 10th, 2024. Escrow release number 9 for Westrom Development. Escrow release number 6 for Higher Rock Residential. Escrow release number 2 for the Love Car Wash.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 7, no, 6, I'm sorry. VMSC Emergency Medical Services, we're going to have an operations update from Shane Wheeler. Please come on up. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As you said, my name is Shane Wheeler. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at VMSC. Thank you for having me this evening. I'm pleased to provide some statistical updates where we looked at the trending volume and operational impact in our communities coming back from 2021 through our year-to-date today, and a couple notable kind of things. Although our call volume is slightly down by about 40 from last year for the same year-to-date numbers from Montgomery Township. Some exciting things to kind of talk about is that we've seen a 64% improvement in our out-of-shoot times, which is the time it takes us to receive the call and to actually mark and route. We went from 1 minute and 28 seconds on average in 2021 to 45 seconds this year. We've also seen a 30% improvement in response times from 9 minutes and 3 seconds to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. The response time is the time we receive a call to the time of actually arriving on the scene. So pretty happy with those numbers. Our national response time goal is 8 minutes and 59 seconds, so well within the national standards of providing services. We've just some of the updates that we're working on. Currently working on a partnership program with Abington Lansdale Hospital and Jefferson Network Medical Health Network with a community paramedic program. We launched that last month. Happy to report that we graduated 2 from that program and have currently 10 in the program. And what that program is basically we've targeted cardiac patients, those particularly with respiratory conditions attached like CHF and COPD. And we follow that patient for 30 days post-discharge. It is a high probability that these patients, if readmitted within 30 days, have significantly higher mortality rates. So keeping them out of the hospital for that first 30 days, making sure they're adhering to their discharge treatment, that we're following up with them, making adjustments and partnerships and collaborations with their personal care providers, the hospitals, and so forth, keeps them out of the hospital and improves their likelihood. So 2 have graduated this program so far. We've been very successful. We found that it's taking on a kind of a world of its own from things we didn't think that we would be dealing with, handling some of these social determinants to health. In one situation, a gentleman couldn't afford a $1,400 repair bill on his car. We were able to work with a local garage to set up payments, and they fixed it ahead of time. We worked with this fixed budget to do that. We've been able to work with the VA to bring in home health and getting good patient qualified for those. So it's really a growing and dynamic things, taking care of the whole patient. So we're really excited about where this is, where it's going, and hoping that we can turn this pilot into more of a permanent kind of program. Thanks to this township's particular investment in VMSC last year of $100,000, we put 10 people through our first paramedic program at VMSC. I'm very pleased to report that all 10 have completed the program. So they're in their final testing phases and preparations of final clinical requirements. And Bryson's actually with us. He just finished all the requirements, and he'll be testing in the next week or so his national board. So that'll be 10 paramedics in addition to our staff, which will bring us up to around 50 or so paramedics currently on staff within our organization. So thank you for that commitment and trusting us to spend your money in a way that's going to really pay huge dividends. We've been working with our board and some of the other municipalities and some foundations to support our education and training center. Currently, through donations, through board allocations, municipalities, we've committed $170,000 for our interactive immersive training simulation center, which includes a simulation ambulance, high fidelity mannequin. So we're able to reproduce a lot of the scenes and calls that we run in a controlled environment to learn in. It's a fantastic tool, and I certainly invite all of you to come and look at the training center and what we've been able to accomplish in improving the overall care that we deliver, which brings me to another statistic I'm enormously proud of, and that is our cardiac arrest survivability rate. And the rate we focus on is heart rate at the hospital. We don't really have control how the patient does throughout the hospital. It's the only measure we have. So we are outpacing the nation by 13% in survivability at the hospital, and the state by 11%. So our training and education is certainly paying off by being able to deliver high quality care. One of the shortfalls that we've noted is that we're only about 3% of the cardiac arrests that we run in our communities have bystanders doing CPR, which is well below the national average. So we really want to try to improve CPR training and access. We're looking at a lot of initiatives to find funding to support those trainings to get people more interested in starting CPR prior to EMS getting there, which is only going to improve our survivability rates by being able to get access to an AED and CPR right away. So one of the things we're working on. Clinical enhancements. Last year, we introduced ultrasound, and we've basically incorporated ultrasound in all of our ambulances. So it's another tool that we use. It helps us better, more closely diagnose what's going on with the patient so that we can deliver the right treatments. So happy about that. We were recently approved to transport blood in our hospital operation, which was the first phase for our full blood in the field transfusion program, which we're slotted to start. Hopefully, on our game plan is by no later than October. We've gone through all the hoops for credentialing, excuse me, and are now acquiring the necessary equipment so that we can deliver this life-saving product. We'll be one of the few services across the Commonwealth that has that program, and perhaps the first that has blood that's not affiliated with another hospital. There's a couple systems that are operating, but they're hospital-based. So a huge project we're working on to get approved. Excuse me. As well, today I signed agreement with Zoll to purchase ventilators for all of our ALS units. These will vastly improve our ability to manage patients' airways, particularly if they are struggling to breathe, if we have to sedate them, or in post-cardiac arrest and during cardiac arrest events. We'll be actually deploying the ventilators into place to improve those outcomes and survivabilities with our patients. So additionally, with some of the funding that we were seeing from the municipal support, we've initiated a retirement plan that went into effect this year. It's the first time VMSC has had an employer contributed retirement program in its 90-year history. So we're really happy to have got that introduced. Again, would not have been possible without the support of our municipalities. We initiated a merit-based raises, even though we have a collective bargaining agreement. Was really restrictive on how we could give raises for one and all. We were able to negotiate with the union to create a mechanism for us to reward people by raises by their actual merit, not because they've just been here and they get a raise.
That's great.
Super happy about that. And we were also able to expand our insurance coverages by putting about 36% more money in our employees' pockets by renegotiated zero out-of-pocket co-pays. They don't have any deductibles on their that they have to meet, and we pay 100% of the premiums on their health insurance. So these are all the things that we've taken steps.
That's great.
And because of that, it's really helped us with retention. We currently only have about a 3% attrition rate. Nationally, EMS has about a 40% attrition rate. So we're really proud of the fact that we're holding on to our staff. And when we do lose people, it's generally because they either become a registered nurse and they go into the hospital system. We've had one go to the state police. We don't lose them to other ambulance services. So really proud of the progress that we've made and the services that we're providing to our communities. And I want to thank you all personally, for myself and on behalf of the 214 people at the MSC, that we're grateful for your support for us, both in spirit and socially and particularly financially. So thank you.
No, I'll first thank you for the difference in what's going on over there is tremendous. We're so proud and thrilled that the response times are so much better. And the fact that you're not just dropping people off, you are taking care of them for the month following and going above and beyond to get them the help, with getting the car repair paid, things like that, you just don't hear of. So
Right.
That's what we love about where we live, that we have people here that do things like that. And Bryson, thank you for wanting to work here and help our people. As far as the CPR training goes, we have a lot of that scheduled at the community center.
Right.
So hopefully we can maybe publicize that better and put the word out that we'd like people to come in and
That was going to be
do
my
that.
suggestion. I want to make sure that you have this schedule and that you can help promote the fact that it's available, and it's available for every age. I mean, there's safe sitter courses with CPR, there's senior CPR, there's just regular CPR certification classes for adults. So there are just a wonderful array of opportunities for people of every age to get certified at our community and recreation center. And if you could help us promote those
Absolutely.
trainings, that I think that would be
Yeah,
to our mutual benefit.
absolutely. And feel free to tag, have your social media people tag BMSC in those announcements so that we can help share those. We can help in any way to kind of help encourage people to do that through talks. I know Chief Wagner's doing a really good job of trying to public awareness and with the issues as well. We work very closely with the QRS within this department. So we really have something special here, particularly here in Montgomery Township. You've got a great fire department, great QRS. I think you got a fantastic EMS service, and more importantly, you've got the willingness of the community that's really behind public safety.
I think if we can make it less scary for people to perform CPR, personally, I think I would be terrified that I was going to hurt the person. So I guess I need to come take the class.
Yeah.
Because I think I would be just terrified.
Yeah,
I'd
and
be
I
the
think
one calling 911 waiting.
that's important, right? A lot of people make assumptions that did somebody call 911?
Right.
So I think
That's the first thing you got to do. Somebody call 911.
Right. I think having events like you've had in the past where you're recognizing those survivals, particularly of bystanders that are stepping up and doing CPR, and that's so important. Anytime we can celebrate, those individuals that it's not their job to do it, right? They just do it because they had a desire to help somebody. I think anytime we can highlight that, I think we should.
Well, you were just here when we did the American Red Cross Awards and
Yeah.
recognized the bystander who
Yep.
witnessed someone who was running out in our community and passed out, was having a cardiac arrest and helped revive that individual. So,
Saved his life.
Yeah.
And there
you're
are
right.
laws that will protect bystanders, the Good Samaritan laws. So that will be
Correct.
something. As well as I believe dispatch people that 911 will actually walk people through. Like even if you've been trained in that panicked moment, they will give you reminders. Here's what you need to do. And especially if it's a child, the age, whatever of who you're dealing with. And the other thing I wanted to also remind people how important it is to know how to use AEDs. We have them throughout our community. And I'm wondering, one of the things that we need to probably do, and maybe we have done it, I just need to pay attention to more, is locating where are those AEDs. I know you have them on board in your different vehicles and so forth, but within our community, where are those AEDs? I know we track those, but they're at the mall. Are they at certain restaurants? Are they at the rec center? And so people will know, oh, I have that resource as well. So there's another reminder we can give the community to, again, being that better bystander.
Yeah, I
So-
think one of the strategies with your CPR instructors is ensuring that their residents download the app Pulse Point. Montgomery County pays for this app. It also has an AED registry in it that when it alerts people when there's a CPR call within a mile of their location. That's in a public area. So if you're trained in CPR, this is a free thing you can sign up for. It would alert you to that. It also has some other alerts you can get, if there's a fire or whatever. But there's, like I said, that AED registry is in there. So it would say, okay, you're at the community center. There's a cardiac arrest at the city building. Let's say that there's not, and there's an AED located in the lobby, right? So all that information would be right there. So if you were driving by and you were trained, you could come in and start doing CPR and help somebody. So,
Right. And I know too, the fire department, I think it's the fire department, has done training at the mall. Am I right with that?
We are scheduled to do 3 trainings at the mall over the next 3 weeks.
So
We've
that
done,
people in the stores can get trained for free, right?
yeah, the mall's paying for them. So we charge $50 a person. Just it's $25 for the card. And then we don't charge for staff time or anything like that. But we're doing the mall. We've done Jeep. We've done the camp counselors for the summer.
Mhm.
I think we're doing more rec staff. So all the members of DFS are now certified CPR instructors.
Thank you for that. Great. It's important to have the details. I didn't have that.
And we also have an AED registry, a township one, on our GIS system.
Yeah.
So it's just township buildings and properties. It's not general, but I'm sure if we wanted, Jen could probably work that in there. But right now it's just township facilities. And all of our township staff was trained in CPR first aid. Everybody should be up to date.
Great.
Right.
Thanks.
The more we can share this kind of resources amongst us, I mean, the better off the community is as a result. So
Absolutely.
we should, try to work toward sharing more of that information.
Thanks for coming
Thank
out
you so much.
and for
Thank you.
everything that you've done over there.
Yes.
Really,
Thank you.
it's priceless to us.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Have a good evening.
Too.
See you, Chief.
All right, item number 7, Chick-fil-A preliminary final land development application. Their location at 794 Bethlehem Pike. Marianne McConnell, Director of Planning and Zoning.
So tonight we have the applicant here to present their project. They're proposing to make modifications to their existing site, adding a second drive-through lane, increasing the total stacking capacity, proposing 2 canopies over the drive-through lanes for the project. So during the April 18th Planning Commission meeting, they recommended that the Board of Supervisors grant preliminary final approval subject to township staff and consultant review letters. So we have representatives here tonight who can present the project and answer any questions you have.
Great.
Good evening. Amy Farrell with Kaplan Stewart, attorneys for the applicant. We certainly can pull up, we have a presentation if you'd like it. I think you have seen this proposal. We were before you ahead of the zoning hearing associated with it. We also have been working with staff on the review letters and do have a draft resolution that we have no objection to, including negotiated conditions relative to the 309 access point. But happy to answer any questions or walk you through it again if you'd like to see it again. We don't want to take up a lot of your time on a nice evening if you're otherwise comfortable.
I don't think we need to see it again, but I think if anyone had any specific questions, that would be,
Sure, happy to answer them.
I'm good with everything. So does anyone have any specific questions?
It's just, is there pedestrian access? I just want to make sure that we have the sidewalks there.
Right, so nothing's changing at the exterior or the perimeters of the site, so that will all remain as it is right now. All of the work is really internal to the site and is primarily paving and restriping.
I think the sidewalks are there already.
So this is the proposed site plan. As Amy stated, the only real change is some parking to readjustments here to allow for that double lane drive through pretty much around the perimeter on the northern and western perimeter. So all the pedestrian sidewalks along the frontage all remain. Nothing we're doing will really affect or impede pedestrian traffic.
And then the deficiency of 4 trees that was noted, and I see that you want to pay a fee in lieu. Why were those removed?
Yeah, some of them are. I have a landscape plan up here. So we did, in order to fit the drive-through, we did have to make some modifications to or additional impervious area to allow for the circulation of the double lane. So as a result of that, we had to lose the landscape island that was here on the entrance. Can we probably better see on the aerial? So the trees lost I think there's one here, and then maybe a couple more behind these trash enclosures where we just needed to open up the room to allow the double drive-through configuration. We have added trees back where we could. It's just we have a little bit of a limited real estate on the property, which is why we're requesting the fee in lieu.
While you have that map up, so the trash is going to move to the center of the parking lot? Can you
Correct.
show me
It's
about
going
where?
here on
Right.
this area, and not moving over to this general area.
And the trash truck comes at off hours, so it won't be a
Correct.
problem when people are there?
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Chick-fil-A has control over that. It's commercial operations, so
Right.
they can control when they come.
Okay.
Same with deliveries.
Be
So
more
they've got
convenient
a
for
lot
their
of control over
employees,
that.
that's for sure.
Right, they don't want the trash truck there when they're trying to serve chicken.
I didn't have any other questions.
Okay. We're all good?
Yeah.
Planning Commission was good with it, so, okay then. I'm gonna move to adopt resolution number 2024-14, approving the preliminary final land development application as with requested waivers for Chick-fil-A.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks so much for coming out.
Thank you.
When will that work? When will that happen?
They would like to start this fall, so they're looking to finalize all of the, outside approvals and everything else.
Right.
And then they would take it offline for, and do you know about how long the construction's
Yeah,
slated to
we
be?
will be shut down for about 4 weeks inside. We are doing some interior improvements.
Okay.
So we'll have some.
4 weeks. Where are we going to go?
What is them all
The mall closed, right?
Yeah, the mall won't close.
Yeah.
So
You can bring that
I'm
back.
excited when it's open.
You
We're
can
going
bring
a
that back.
40-foot road, I guess.
Bring it back.
I will say the capacity inside the building will also increase after the renovation as well. So all in all, I think it'll be a great project.
Great.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
There you go.
Thank Mary Ann for being such a good neighbor to us.
Well, she wanted to be here.
I know.
She's actually out of Atlanta today.
Yeah. We'll thank her for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Was that your sign?
Thanks
night.
again. Have a good night. Item number 8, proposed signage, Rotary Club of Montgo, New Britain. Mary Ann McConnell, Director of Planning and Zoning.
I had a representative from the Rotary Club of Montgo, New Britain, contact our office to inquire about installing a sign for their organization, which holds regular meetings within the township. Right now, they're just looking for guidance and approval to place a sign within our community, which normally is located somewhere leading into the township. Attached are renderings of the proposed sign that would be attached to a pole. Most areas leading into the township are state roads, so they would need a permit, outdoor advertising permit from PennDOT as well. I believe the one they were interested in is the one on the left, on the second page. The 24 by 15 and then the 24 by 8 underneath, noting the location and time of the meetings.
I don't see a problem with it, so they would just need to apply to PennDOT.
I think they're looking for some direction from us, like where in the township, and then they would have to make the application to PennDOT. And I believe on that application would be township approval
Do you
or
have
the
any-
property owner's approval.
Any thoughts on where they should put it?
At first glance, if they're looking at major arteries, you have Enclave Boulevard coming up 309. Is it Whistle Stop Park was another location, but that was because it's township property. I was kind of trying to look at, can't do anything along the bypass. They have that 300-foot right of way and it's
Right.
not allowed within the right of way. So those were some initial locations I was looking at, but we
Their
can
meeting
keep,
location is actually near the 5 Points intersection. Is there anything that could be done in that vicinity?
you would need the private property owner's permission as well for that, because it can't be placed in the right of way. But if it's along a state road, you need PennDOT permission.
Unless we did it at Windlestray where it's our property?
You would still need it because Keenest Road is a state
Not
road.
Windlestray, I'm sorry, Whistle Stop, where you had mentioned.
Whistle Stop County Line is still a state road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to maybe come back to us at a future meeting with better ideas of where we would want these
Carolyn has
placed?
an idea.
Oh,
I was just saying, I would suggest that we sit down and just look at options and then present it to them. Here's where we think it could be effective, but keep in mind, these are state roads. Keep in mind, you're going to need private property permission, and then let them come back to us with their decision.
sounds great.
We just wanted to get an idea if you were okay with us moving forward.
And mostly if there was a place where you absolutely didn't want to see it. That's the other thing. So like, if you don't want to see it where the Montgomery Township signs are that the Shade Tree Commission is looking to redo, then we would know that, so at the corner of Doylestown Road and County Line Road, if you said, yeah, we don't want it there, we don't want it to be cluttered, we'd rather it be
Right.
down the other end or whatever. But to Ms. Bamford's point, if it's near 5 Points right now, then maybe we should look at options in that area. Not right at 5 Points, of course, but on one of those
Let's not
roads
add
that,
any more distraction
Yeah.
to 5 Points.
absolutely.
But like up 309, Richardson Road, that, would be another place to potentially consider.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's put it back
Okay.
on them to come back to us with some ideas. Great. Thank you. Next thing, we are in Public Works, item number 9. Consider the award of contract for the exterior painting of the Public Works building. Greg Reef, Public Works Director.
Good evening. The Public Works Department obtained 3 quotes from 3 qualified and responsible vendors, contractors ranging from $16,015 to $59,675. Quaker City Painting has provided the lowest quote dated April 22nd of 2024 in the amount of $16,015. The funding for the exterior painting of the building is included in the approved 2024 capital investment plan. Per the quote provided, it would be our recommendation to award the contract to Quaker City Painting, the lowest qualified vendor, to perform the services outlined in our specifications for a total cost of $16,015.
The span of the bids on this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I'm glad you got 3 bids.
I think one wanted it and the other one was just throwing a number out there.
Seems like it, yeah.
Seriously.
Was there an exact amount that we funded in the 24 capital plan or?
We were at 20,000
Oh,
that we
so
had
it's under
budgeted.
Budget again?
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right. That's lovely in this day. It sounds great to me. I'm going to move to award the contract for the exterior painting of the Public Works building to Quaker City Painting, the lowest qualified vendor slash contractor, in the amount of $16,015.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Moving to Administration and Finance, item number 10, award of bids for the Municipid online surplus asset sale. Brian Shapiro, looks like we sold some stuff.
Good evening. Thank you. On May 13th, 2024, the Board of Supervisors authorized the sale of township surplus assets through the online auction company Municipid. Below are the bid and offer details from the highest bidders. There's 4 items there listed. The township will receive $8,102 for the sale of surplus assets within 30 days of approval by the Board of Supervisors, those monies will go into the Capital Investment Fund. It's recommended that the Board of Supervisors authorize the sale of the above listed items to the highest bidders at the close of bidding on June 5th, 2024.
Looks good to me. Does anyone have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to move to authorize the sale of the above listed equipment to the highest bidders as noted.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 11, request authorization to purchase network equipment. An addendum. Rich Greer, Director of IT. Oh, the sun's really in your eyes.
I'll take it. For 2024 IT staff budget, $61,500 for admin network switch upgrade and high availability township building firewalls. On May 13th, the board approved the purchase of network equipment for $31,713.14. Attached in your packet is a quote dated April 15th, 2024 from Omega Systems Incorporated, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program, to provide additional equipment, configuration, and installation at a total cost of $12,345.47. This quote, or addendum, brings the total cost of this project to $44,058.61. It is recommended that the Board of Supervisors approve the contract award for the reference purchases per the 2024 approved fund budget. So the bad news is that we missed a quote, or I should say I missed a quote. The good news is that through utilizing the new finance software and entering the requisitions, it was discovered that there was some pieces missing from the vendor as a result of this. And you can see it as that quote was dated April 15th. It sort of just got lost in the shuffle as we took 2 projects and they gave me 3 quotes, and we went from Aruba hardware devices to FortiGate. Went back and forth quite a few times, and unfortunately this got lost in the shuffle. But like I said, the finance software entering requisition quickly identified the fact that there was something wrong. Worked with the vendor, found this quote, and another good piece is you're still way under budget by $17,441. And we're getting so much more than what we actually planned to do in 2023. I apologize, that does say 2024, but it was the 2023 is when we plan to do this for 2024.
Great. I'm happy to see that it's still well under budget and you're getting everything you need. Any specific questions?
Nope. Looks good to me.
All right. I'm going to move to award the contract for the purchase and configuration of network switches from Omega Systems, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program, at a total cost of $12,345.47 per their quote.
Second.
Any public comment? Well, you are the public. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Is there any old business or new business to talk about? Nope. All right.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a good night. Some papers to sign.